Hey there. So I wanted to just do a video on a book that I read called The Source, and it is written by Swart, and she's a neuroscientist, and she comes up with a great plan. It's a 6-step process. I really enjoyed the book. I thought that it was pretty direct, and there were definitely tangible things that we can all do. So the first thing that Tara suggests is to really be able to manage your emotions. She calls that emotional intelligence in the book, but it's really about not letting your emotions get the best of you. And the dysfunction and also just the emotional dysregulation can create a lot of other problems and will affect our decision making and how much we can persist. So the first step is to be able to just emotionally regulate. And that may be difficult to just do and say, okay, I'm going to emotionally regulate. But some of the things that we can do in order to get to that place is, number one, just become aware. Become aware of what's going on, become aware of our emotions. And I think the awareness sort of breaks through what could just be being reactive and being something that we've always done or responds in a way that we've become used to, and just being easily triggered without really processing what is truly going on. So just being aware of what's going on, aware of our emotions, can give us a moment to just breathe and pause and to really look at what's going on. Another thing that you may want to do is to just be able to name your feelings. So are you angry? Are you frustrated? Sometimes things feel like something it isn't. You know, it could be that we feel we're angry, but underneath we're really sad. And to really be able to identify the emotion in order to be able to really nail it and really understand what's going on inside of ourselves. And the last thing would be to really identify triggers. So I've done a video on how we get triggered, and many of us get triggered by things that we don't even recognize. And to really be able to identify like what triggers me, and most likely it's part of our past. Most likely it is something that we don't feel great about within ourselves, or we wouldn't be able to be so easily triggered. We may not feel worthy enough, so when somebody else is doing something that we'd like to do, we can become very triggered about that. If we don't feel that we're as smart as somebody else, even though we might be, and they're talking about something, we may feel like they're a know-it-all, because it's really about us. And I remember somebody had saying to me at one point that when a person acts a certain way, it's always about them, because they can respond to you in a spectrum of ways, right? You could be empathetic, you could become angry, you become jealous, competitive, quiet. It's really about where that person's coming from. And in order to emotionally regulate, it's about us figuring out what is triggering us, what's going on with us under the surface that we can identify, and then be aware of it, and to just know that these things are not really necessarily about the other person. The next thing is motivation, and the theory behind this is the emotional regulation, it will really be beneficial in terms of our motivation. So if we're on this pendulum, we're swinging back and forth, and we're feeling triggered, and we're getting upset a lot, we're going to get discouraged very easily. We're going to just be exhausted and just wanting to give up as soon as things don't go right. And the motivation is tied to the emotional regulation. What are things that motivate you? What are things that can bring you motivation? So some people it's negative. I don't want to be poor. I don't want to be alone. And for other people, it might be more positive. I want to have these nice things. I want to have authentic relationships. Obviously, you can do either one. The problem with going to the negative is that can really bring us down rabbit holes. So just think about what's going to motivate you. Why are you doing what you're doing? And how are you going to motivate yourself to go forward, even when you're not feeling it, even when you're feeling down, even when you've lost a client, or something didn't go right that you had been planning for a long time, and to be able to maintain that in order to be persistent in achieving your goals. And the next one that I really like is to really be attuned to your body, which holds a wealth of information, a wealth of body intelligence, what is going on with you physically. And that part of that is really tracking and understanding how outside influences are going to affect you. So for instance, if we eat a certain way, we might love the food that we're eating, it might feel great to eat it, it might taste delicious, but if we don't feel well after we eat, how is that affecting us overall? So it could be beneficial to just document, and you'll see patterns. When I'm with this one person, I always feel badly about myself, or when I eat this one thing, I'm going to have a digestion problem. Or, if I have this digestive problem, I'm eating too late, it's going to affect my sleep. We always have an idea of what things are, but when you document things and you can see them in black and white, that's when it gives us a real reality check. Another thing that she suggests, and I love this idea too, is to do a body scan. And that's more of a meditative practice. It's not a physical body scan per se, but it's just sitting quietly and really relaxing and getting into a meditative state and just going from the top of your head to the bottom of your feet and scan and just intuitively feel what is going on in your body. And when we can block out distractions and really focus on that, it gives us a lot of wisdom, because many of us, right, we're active, we're doing something, we're planning something, we're talking on the phone, we're scrolling. It keeps us away from being in tune to our real selves and what might be going on internally. So by documenting everything and then taking a minute to really sit with ourselves and just do this body scan, we can get a lot of information, but we need to block out time for that, real quiet time. We're not going to be distracted. We know we're not going to be distracted, and to be able to do that. It doesn't take very long, and you might find that your body is speaking to you and telling you things that aren't working properly or are being affected that we can change. And then again, we look through our documentation and we see what is it that we're eating, how are we sleeping, and that kind of thing. And the next one is very closely related to the physical attunement, and that's just using your intuition. It's really going inside and asking yourself, how do you really feel about something? What is the sense that you get? And that's blocking out the outside noise, the outside influences, perhaps outside opinions. And not that we can't listen to other people's perspective on things, but to really go with your gut. And when we are treating our bodies right, and we are sleeping well, and we're eating well, and we're exercising, and we're doing all these things, it's easier to be in tune with our body and be intuitive, because we're not focusing on, digestive problems, headaches and that kind of thing. So just taking care of your body and really getting into your intuition can really help. And the last one is the second to last one, is logic. This is really using rational thinking and really sitting down and imagining, if this were to happen, what are the consequences? Instead of doing what just feels good, if I buy a house and I need to take care of this house, what is that really going to be for me? And to really look at things logically and not so much emotionally, and be able to say, these are the responsibilities that I'm going to have. If I decide to move, what is that really going to mean for me? Am I going to be able to just quickly, sweep into another state, another area, and have a full life? Is it something that I'm prepared to work for? Taking on a business, taking on a relationship, looking at all of the positives and negatives, and the outcomes and the most likely outcomes, and what you need to do to get there, and to be very logical about it, and to write things down, because that's a reality check, and it also helps us not to leap into things before we know what we're getting ourselves into. And now the last one is the creativity part, and this is the fun part. It's deciding what we want and being really creative about it. So I imagine that to be a vision board, a journal. For some people, they love Excel spreadsheets. Some people love drawing things out. Some people love writing poems. To really get into your creativity and be able to map out how it is that you want to live your life and what that looks like for you, and imagining yourself doing these things, having the pictures in front of you doing those things, and just letting it get into your subconscious, really just being really creative about what it is that you're looking to aspire to, and how you want to live your life, and how you're going to live your life. So it gives you that sense of excitement, and you've already taken care of some of the other things, right? So you have, emotionally regulated yourself, you're taking care of your body, you're being logical, you're being intuitive, and now you're prepared to really create the life that you want to live. So these are the 6 steps. I hope they help you. And I think that they're fundamental. I think that they're straightforward. I think they're doable. And I hope this helps you on your path, and I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you like this, please like, comment, and subscribe for more. Thank you so much for watching. And if you think somebody else should see this, pass it on.